Buying a home can be a pretty daunting experience for anyone. But if you're a first-time home buyer, it can be a downright scary experience. Many first-time home buyers tell me that when they get into this adventure of buying their first home, they have no idea where to begin. They don't know what's expected of them. They don't know what they have a reasonably right to expect of the people involved. They don't even know who the people involved are. In other words, it's a very unknown experience for them, something that they simply have not experienced before, therefore have no idea where to begin. So I thought I'd put together this video with some tips specifically for first-time home buyers, but even if it's not your first home you're buying, you might find some of this useful as well, because most of us don't really buy homes that often, so sometimes it's good with a little bit of a refresher maybe. But this is a video made specifically for first-time home buyers. My name is Danholm, and I do work with a lot of first-time home buyers, so I know firsthand how they feel, or at least how they tell me they feel about the process. And they feel overwhelmed is the word that comes to mind. So where to begin? Well, in my mind, you should start by saving early. Make sure you have some money put aside for the down payment, for the closing cost, for moving, because these are all things you're going to have to pay for in order to get into your new home. You do not need a down payment in all cases, but if you find your dream home and that dream home cannot be bought without you putting some money in it, it is crucial, unless you are prepared to lose it, that you have some money for your down payment. Generally, the cheapest loan that requires a down payment today for first-time home buyers is a conventional loan, specifically for first-time home buyers with a 3% down. What that means is if you're looking at a $300,000 home, it's a $9,000 down payment that's required on that loan type. So if your budget, which we'll get back to later in the video, is for a home for $300,000, I would recommend that you have at least $9,000 in the bank for the down payment, just in case that home does not qualify, that the home you find does not qualify for a no down payment. And then you need closing costs, and they can vary from 2 to 6% depending on the loan type, because most of your closing costs when you're buying a house will be coming from the financing side. So again, if we're back to a $300,000 home with a 3% down payment, you're going to need almost $18,000 for the closing costs. And then you're going to need a few thousand to move. If you move with friends and family, you might not need a lot, but you should at least have enough to buy them a pizza, or maybe also a little bit if you need to buy some extra furniture. So if it turns out your budget is for a home around $300,000, it would be best if you have at least about $30,000 to move forward. It's not a requirement because there are ways around it, but for your peace of mind and for you to make sure that you will not lose a house because of lack of money, I would definitely make sure I have at least $30,000 in the bank. And then you should also figure out how much home you can afford, and there you can find lots of what they call home affordability calculators online to get you the first idea. But I would recommend that you sit down with your mortgage lender, your mortgage broker, and discuss your income, your debt, how much money you have saved, and your credit score, and then figure out through that conversation how much house you can afford. And he can also help you with how much your monthly payments should be for you to sit comfortably without having to struggle to pay your bills. And when you're in this process, you need to check and strengthen your credit. Check your credit often to make sure it doesn't go down, and try to do everything you can to improve it, because the better credit score you have, the cheaper your loans will be. There are many ways that you can check your credit score. Credit Karma with a K is one of them, but if you just Google check my credit score for free, or you can also go directly to one of the 3 major credit bureaus. experience, Equifax and TransUnion, they have to give you at least once a year a free credit score. And how do you maintain or strengthen your credit? Well, you obviously pay your bills on time. Keep your credit card balances as low as possible, because the more unused credit you have available to you, the better your credit score will be. Do not close any credit cards, because that will lower the amount of credit you have available, and then again increase how much of that credit you use. So if you don't use a card, don't close it. Just make sure you keep it open and pay whatever fees, and maybe use it a little bit from time to time. And then you should start looking into various mortgage options. What kind of loans are suitable for you? This is not a discussion you should have with your realtor, but with your mortgage lender. Generally, people look at four different types of mortgage loans: conventional loans, FHA loans, USDA loan, and VA loans. And the two last options are specific to either areas or people. So a USDA loan can only be used in rural areas. VA loans can only be used if you are a current or former service member of the armed forces. So you should discuss with your mortgage lender which of these options are best for you. And then we can then you should also, even if you have money in the bank, it's wise to research first-time home buyer assistance programs, because there might be programs out there who can help you save some cash by giving you some down payment assistance or assistance toward your closing costs. So if you can combine a low interest mortgage with some down payment assistance, that will keep your overall cost significantly down and save you some cash for unforeseen expenses. And then you need to compare your mortgage rates and fees. What would different types of loans cost you, and what can different lenders offer you in terms of loans? Because one thing, you probably heard that if you take out loans, it affects your credit score, and if your credit is being pulled, it will affect your credit score. The good news is that does not apply the same way to mortgage loans as it does to all other kinds of loans. You can actually, within a 30-day period, have as many mortgage applications going as you wish, and it will only affect your credit as if you did one credit score, at least one credit pull. Once you've got all this in place and you decided which lender to go with and what loan product you're going with, you should get a pre-approval letter. And you might have noticed that I have not talked about looking at houses yet. Of course, you can go looking at houses before you get any of this stuff done. But if you go look at a house and you don't have a pre-approval letter, and it turns out you can't get a loan that's big enough to buy that house, you'll lose out on the house. And if you fall in love with the house, that is emotionally stressful, and buying a home can be stressful enough as it is. So in your interest, you should make sure you have a pre-approval letter before you start seriously looking at homes. A pre-approval letter is a letter from your lender telling you how much money they will lend you, what the cost will be, what the monthly payments will be, and it's a letter that's issued for your convenience, so you know what this whole thing will cost you. But it's also a letter that can be used to show the seller of the home you found that you can actually afford to buy that home, and you have a lender backing you who will lend you the money. Now is the time to choose a real estate agent if you want to work with one. There's no requirement to work with a real estate agent if you're buying a home, but real estate agents do more than open doors. They can help you negotiate a better deal. They will help you point out what is reasonable to expect of a seller to repair, if anything, when you're buying a home. They can also help you navigate through the different neighborhoods, and they can often find homes for you that might not be available on the open market. So there are advantages to working with an agent, and the good news is it's still free for you as a buyer, in the sense that the seller pays for all the agent's fees, so you don't pay anything for the agent who works on your behalf. The agent can also help you explore different neighborhoods, and often if you're busy working or in another state, your agent can also preview homes for you, so you only have to go look at homes that actually interest you. That can save you a ton of time if you do that. So once you start looking, it's important that you stick to your budget unless you have deliberately set your budget low, so there's some leeway. First of all, it might be impossible for you to borrow more money than you have been that the pre-approval letter says, but it's also if you get into a bidding war, so if you stick to your budget, there's a better chance of you to at least take part in a smaller bidding war. Make use of the internet and open houses. Go look at houses when you don't have any obligation to book a time. If you have a weekend, go look at open houses. If you do work with a real estate agent, it's important that you tell the agent at the open house that you already have an agent, but you can go and tour houses in person and see what the neighborhood looks like at different times of the week by going to the open house maybe on a Sunday and then drive through the neighborhood and take a look on a Wednesday. Once you found your home, you should really get a home inspection. Even if you're buying a brand new home, get a home inspection. A home inspection will go through the home for you and point out anything that needs to be repaired, anything that's poorly built, any faults of the home basically. So it gives you peace of mind. It also is a negotiation tool you can use to the seller to maybe reduce the price if there are things that reasonably should have been found by the seller. And then negotiate the price, negotiate repairs, negotiate closing costs, negotiate anything you can. And this is where your real estate agent can really be very useful, because we know how to write an offer that is attractive to the seller but still gives you some concessions the other way. That is the most those are the steps of the home buying process that you should be aware of when you're a first-time home buyer, or any home buyer for that matter. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know as well. I would like to make my next video even better. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.